Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worry. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games we play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2.
Welcome to the Suplex. Welcome to the Suplex Sports Podcast. This is your boy Mish. I'm happy. I'm giddy. I'm geeked up. Week one of the NFL 2024 season is just about in the books. As currently, as we're recording this, the Monday night game between the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers is currently being played. Alright, a lot of jam-packed action from week one. I hope you guys' fantasy teams are looking good, just like mine's. Alright, not to sit here and brag, but we're doing okay. It's only week one. We got a long way to go. All right. Also, we're going to hit you off with some MLB news. 2 U.S. Open champions are in full effect. UFC Fight Night was held over the weekend as well. And we're going to get into some other news. A couple of guys getting the bag, still waiting for the bag. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So let's get it kicked off with that very memorable game between the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs starting their championship defense against Baltimore, essentially rematch of the AFC Championship game, did not disappoint whatsoever. It was a game where, let's just say, we thought Derrick Henry was gonna eat a lot. Didn't really happen, but we've seen Lamar get those legs going. That's for damn sure. Final score was 20-27, Kansas City. Game was nearly tied at the end, with Isaiah likely catching the potential game-tying touchdown within the final 4 seconds of the game. Unfortunately, his foot was about a couple of inches out of bounds. Went ahead, replayed it. That was it in the ball game. Things are looking up for Baltimore. I think that they're still missing one key piece, but they are lacking a lot of things on that O-line. That O-line does not look the same right now, but we'll see how things go. But Kansas City starting off their championship campaign with a 27-20 victory over the Ravens. Also, game from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Very good game. Fortunately, Jordan Love went down with an injury. Right now, it looks like maybe Malik Willis could be starting the next game for the Green Bay Packers. Essentially, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Packers 34-29. Pretty tight game. As it is the first game of the season, still working out the kinks. So, schemes and plays with new personnel, things got to mesh. But I think what we could take from this game is Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley, and he's going to do very well for Philadelphia this season, along with my man A.J. Brown. All right, moving ahead, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks basically lost. Actually, they won. They beat the Broncos 20-26. I thought they was going to lose. Bo Nix looked all right, considering, for a rookie quarterback, he looked all right. But nonetheless, he's got a lot of kinks to get worked out. Sean Payton is doing his thing. Gonna let them cook up north in Denver for a little bit. Well, I mean, this game right here, I don't know if we expected a W, expected a loss. I expected big things, and we didn't get big things from the Giants. As the Minnesota Vikings went ahead and beat the New York Giants 28-6. Daniel Jones still looking like Daniel Jones, unfortunately, in week 1. He's already being booed by the Giants fans. We shall see how this plays out going forward. It's going to be a long year for the Giants. I hope that my hope is that Neighbors and Jones get on the same page, or then they just need to go ahead and turn the ball over to my boy, my man Tommy. I like that dude, man. I'm still raving over his family from last year and that spread they put out. But the Vikings won. That's win number 1 for the Vikings under the Sam Darnold era. We shall see. There's going to be a lot of hot takes this year with the Vikings. If you guys didn't turn into the NFL preview show that we previously did, things are going to get spicy when it comes down to talking about the Vikings this year. So we're just letting you know that up front and personal on that one. Moving forward, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Atlanta Falcons 18-10. Justin Fields is currently the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good game so far. Pittsburgh has I think a pretty good defense. I think they pretty much showed why, holding Atlanta to 10 points. I think a lot of people was expecting Atlanta to put points on the board this year, since they essentially went out and got Kirk Cousins via free agency. And I expect big things from Kyle Pitts and Drake London this year, but we're not going to let week 1, go ahead and make a determination of how this season is going to turn out. I think that Atlanta is going to be in pretty decent shape going forward. Buffalo Bills, they went ahead and beat the Arizona Cardinals 34-28. Lackluster debut performance for Marvin Harrison Jr. Michael Wilson did get in the end zone along with John Connor. I don't think there's any surprise there. Kyler Murray is essentially still running around like Kyler Murray does. And, Kyler is a very good quarterback. I think we all still kind of question his height, but, he's able to get things done. I do expect big things going forward this season for Arizona, and as him and Marvin Harrison Jr. develops a chemistry. Also, Caleb Williams, number 1 draft pick, came out with a victory. The Chicago Bears beat the Tennessee Titans 24-17. Mr. Caleb Williams, congratulations to you. He is the first number 1 overall rookie quarterback to win a game since 2002, I believe. Kudos to you, sir, as Chicago's, as I suspect, as they push forward throughout the season, could potentially be a contender, proverbial juggernaut, provided Caleb driving that car the proper way with all those weapons he got. I think the sky's the limit. I'm very, very excited for Chicago this season. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars went to Miami. They lost 20-17. Very close game. Very, very close game. Jalen Waddell had a big game. Tyreek Hill had a big game. David Achane. Tua Tagovailoa, he looks good. Trevor Lawrence looked good. Brian Thomas Jr. from Jacksonville, the rookie, he looks very good. I think essentially he is the number 1 wide receiver in Jacksonville right now. One could argue him and Christian Kirk could be a 1A, 1B situation, but we'll see how things play out thus far. Not to mention stout running back Travis Etienne. But yeah, one game not going to define them at all. I think Doug Peterson's going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars humming. Look forward to seeing how they progress later on in the year. Also, those Houston Texans, those highly touted Houston Texans, coming off a very strong campaign last season, starting off with a win, W nonetheless. basically, I'm not going to say just got by, but it was a very tight game as they went ahead and beat the Indianapolis Colts 29-27. Anthony Richardson, he is that dude. Anthony Richardson is going to make some noise this year. He looks healthy. He looks good. Strong arm. Him and Alec Pierce hooked up for a nice touchdown. I expect good things coming out of Indy, and I think Indy will have a very good, sneaky top 10 defense as they progress into the rest of the year, injury barring. Honestly, that's just my honest opinion. Derek Carr and the New York Saints blew out Carolina Panthers 47-10. Rashid Shaheed, he's that dude, man. He's that dude. Right now, they look good. First game, everybody looking good first game. Derek Carr showed me a little, showed me some stuff, but we'll see if he can stay consistent and progress throughout the season. The LA Chargers beat the Las Vegas Raiders 22-10. Good debut for Gardner Minshew. I think put up 10 points. I think there's a lot of kinks to be worked out in that offense. I don't know. We shall see what the next 5 to 6 games hold for the Las Vegas Raiders, as there could be rumors about potentially Devontae Adams being unhappy. Blase blah. It's still early. We'll see how it all shapes out. I'm optimistic on the situation. But thus far, the Raiders are opened up the season with a loss. Also, Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels made his quarterback debut with a loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, pretty damn good. Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans. Rashad White had a pretty good game as well, as they look to be building upon the momentum that they had going in the last year. Look forward to a pretty good year from the Bucs moving forward. Jaden Daniels, first game underneath his belt. Got a long way to go. Some inconsistencies in some ways. Ran in a touchdown. It's going to be a process, of course, as he gets his new NFL legs underneath him. So we'll see how things goes. Of course, there are going to be some growing pains, but we'll see how they progress going in towards the year. Those Dallas Cowboys, that defense, man, that Cowboys defense looks damn good. And, for me, I thought that they may take a step back a little bit without Stephon Gilmore and Delano Bland. And unfortunately, they did not. Not in one bit, shape, way, or form. They are looking in mid-season form so far versus game 1, and they gave it to Cleveland. They gave it to Deshaun Watson. I don't know what to say, man. It's not the Deshaun Watson that I expected. I don't know at this point if things is more psychological. I hope that they do get better as the season progresses. I do expect that they will get better as the season progresses. They just added a new weapon as well. Kadarius Toney has signed with Cleveland. So I think that they could right the ship. Not gonna let one game define it, but all the deep tissue massage jokes are getting ready to start commencing. So I mean, there's nothing I could do about that, because I'm gonna make some at some point myself. That's for damn sure. But right now, Dallas is looking. They look good. They look good so far in the first game of the year. The Detroit Lions and the LA Rams went into overtime with David Montgomery scoring the game-winning touchdown. Jameson Williams, he has arrived finally after about 3 seasons. One injury season, one season where he starts off with suspension. This being his 3rd year, it looks like he's firing on all cylinders. He was the number 1 target for Jared Goff for the evening. Amassed over 100 total yards with the touchdown. It's going to be a very good year for Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the Detroit Lions. So far, things are shaping up. And if J-Mo's going to, continue this, going on through the rest of the year, I don't know who could potentially stop Detroit. I think only thing that can stop Detroit is themselves. And they got a pretty good defense. But once that defense come together, I think we're going to see potentially something special and see if they can potentially get over the proverbial hump. I'm hoping so. And the upset of the weekend, the New England Patriots. Went into Cincinnati and beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Yes, Jacoby Brissett went in, managed the game, didn't do too much, did what he just had to do, protect the ball. Excellent run game with Ramondre Stevenson, and they was essentially able to escape the game 16-10. Gerard Mayo's first win as the New England Patriots head coach in the post-Bill Belichick era. Only good things going up from here. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, first win's a win, but it only gets tougher from there in terms of victories for the New England Patriots, and we'll see how things shape out in that regard. Good week one. And currently, as we are speaking, it is the 49ers are leading the Jets 13-7. Game is being played in San Francisco, and we're currently 6 minutes and 54 seconds left in the second quarter. I think that game might be tight coming into the second half. We'll check it out. And of course, we will be back with our NFL show. Not this upcoming Friday, but the following Friday. Me, Icy Boston, Jay Jones, we're going to get together and we're going to discuss the first couple of weeks of the season and let you guys know from our opinions what we see happening, how things is going down, and how things are essentially shaking up. Things will be a little bit personal, considering one of us is a Minnesota Vikings fan, so things will be a little bit spicy in that regard. All right. Also, over the weekend, UFC Fight Night from the Apex Performance Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gilbert Burns fought Sean Brady. Sean Brady won all 5 rounds, unanimous decision victory over Gilbert Burns. Jessica Andrade fought Natalia Silva. That went all 3 rounds for unanimous decision for Natalia Silva. Steve Garcia fought Kyle Anderson. Steve Garcia knocked him out with elbow strikes in the first round. That was pretty impressive. Go back, check that out. Check on YouTube. Your ESPN Plus UFC. I thought it was a pretty decent card, but that was pretty impressive by Steve Garcia, at least to me, with elbow strikes. Also, Matt Schnell and Cody Durden ended with Cody Durden winning with the round 2 guillotine submission over Matt Schnell. Beautiful guillotine in that regard. And Trevor Peek and Yanal Ashmoose. That went all 3 rounds with a unanimous decision victory for Yanal Ashmoose. UFC are putting on some good fights, man. After the last snoozer about a month or so ago now, so things are looking up as we look forward into essentially later on in the year, which essentially is fight season. I'm still waiting to see when John Jones is getting back on the card. I mean, it's killing me. It's killing me. The best fighter in the world doesn't have an opponent yet. I want to see something happening very, very soon. I want a big card for the UFC. I want to be licking my chops. I want to be thinking about it all day, waiting to get to, 10 o'clock for the main card and getting to it. Dana, help a brother out, please. Can I get some help, please? Major League Baseball. We are less than a month away from the playoffs. As you could smell in the air as we've transitioned from summer to fall, the leaves are changing colors, wind is blowing, the mornings are getting colder. It's that time, baby. It's almost time for fall baseball. There's nothing like it. Playoff baseball. Fall's already here, but playoff baseball, that's for damn sure. Getting into it with the American League standings. Currently leading the American League, the New York Yankees, record of 82-61. Behind them, Guardians, 81-62 is the record. And the Houston Astros at 77-66 as their record. Those are currently your three American League leaders. And the wild cards. Baltimore right now is leading in the wild card with 5.5 games. Behind them is Kansas City Royals. Baltimore's record is 82-62. They could still get into the top three, essentially. Well, at least the top two. Cleveland. They'll chase the Guardians and the Yankees, but they could make a run for it as well. Kansas City. They're currently 79-65, 2.5 games out. But they are in the wild card, so that's a plus. As well as the Minnesota Twinkies at 76-67. Teams that are currently vying to try to move up with less than a month left. I believe there's at least 18-19 games left in the season. So now it's time to get affairs in order. It's time to start hitting your streaks right now while the going gets good, essentially. That regard. All right, teams trying to move up in the American League. Detroit 73-71. They are 3.5 games back. The Seattle Mariners are 73-71 at 3.5 games back even. And third, trying to push up is the Boston Red Sox at 72-71. 1 game over 500, 4 games back out of the wild card. Intriguing. National League leaders, the LA Dodgers, they are currently leading 86-57 record. Philadelphia has an 85-58 record with the Milwaukee Brewers at 82-61. Looks like that is holding steady right now. Things could potentially change, as right now leading the wild card is the San Diego Fathers. They are currently 2 games up, followed by the Arizona Diamondbacks, record of 80-64, game and a half back. I retract that. That's my bad. The Dodgers are 2 games up, Arizona game and a half back. The Atlanta Braves are 78-65, and the New York Mets are 78-65 as well, and they're still in the wild card race, very much in it. Not eliminated, they're not below the line, they are right there and in it. Right there in it, and anything can happen with these last 18-19 games left to go in the season. And teams that are trying to move up, I say probably have no shot in the National League at this point would be the Chicago Cubs at 73-70, St. Louis Cardinals at 72-71, and the San Francisco Giants at 71-73. The Cubbies are 5 games back, St. Louis is 6 games back, and San Fran is respectively 7.5 games back. That's a lot of ground to make up without too many games left in the year. I think you could pretty much call it. It'll just be positioning, I think, between the Mets and the Braves. San Diego and Arizona, letting them duke it out. Arizona and San Diego could potentially sneak into the leader, to either one of the leader spots. But we shall see. I don't see the Dodgers falling behind. Philly's been pretty strong. Don't see them giving it up. And Milwaukee, they could probably slip, but so far they've been holding on to that third spot in the National League. All right, so 18 to 19 games left in the season. A couple of more weeks left of baseball. A couple of more series left to be played. The playoffs is slated to get started on October 1st. We shall see who makes the push for the wild card weekend. Can't wait in Major League Baseball. All right. Also this weekend was the U.S. Open Finals, as Italy's Jannik Sinner beat American Taylor Fritz to win the United States Open in straight sets. Congratulations to you, Mr. Fritz. You got there. You handled it very well. Good game of the weekend with Francis Tiafoe. But, you know, Jannik Sinner, he was on his A game and was able to finish it off in straight sets. But, you know, going forward, I think that United States tennis is in good hands, in very, very good hands. On the women's side, American Jessica Pegula, she lost to Belarusian Ariana Sabalenka. They lost to Miss Sabalenka in straight sets as well, as Miss Sabalenka is the United States Open champion on the women's side as well. So new winners in you know, both men's and women's respectively, and just look forward to seeing what else tennis has to hold. What's next? Coco couldn't get over the top. I mean, we all want to see Coco do very well, but we'll see next tournament how Coco, Francis Tiafoe, and Mr. Fritz gets back into to the win columns and back to the proverbial semifinals and finals respectively. All right, moving on to some news. Jamar Chase, he played the game this Sunday. Still no new contract for Jamar, as he is on the last year of his deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. He did catch, went 6 for 6 with 62 yards. We'll see what happens. I think that for the fact that he's stepping out in the field, considering not having a new contract, I think he's playing on good faith that a new contract does get done, and we shall see what happens from there. The only caveat is what happens if he gets injured, and I don't think any player wants to get injured without securing a bag, but of course there are essentially a lot of what-ifs out there, so you know, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. So moving on, somebody did get their bag. 4 years, $240 million guaranteed money. Dak Prescott. Dak got it. Jerry's World. Mind you, this man Dak did not even sniff an NFC Championship game. Has not even sniffed the Super Bowl. Yet he got the bag. Got the bag. Got the bag. We're gonna see what happens this year. I don't know. Jerry ponied up and paid. I hope Jerry don't regrets this. I truly hope he doesn't regret this. Dak and CD is a damn good combination for Dallas. Can he win in the playoffs? I don't know. But Dak got the bag. Dak got his bag. Moving on. Puka Nacua was injured this past Sunday. He is being placed on injury reserve with a PCL injury. Looks like it potentially is a PCL strain. Also inactive for tonight's game against the New York Jets is Christian McCaffrey. He is inactive with a calf injury. Jordan Mason has filled in as the RB1. As you're a fantasy player right now, Jordan Mason is the number one handcuff to have right now, I think. Considering that Christian McCaffrey's been having this nagging calf injury on and off for a while now. Don't know how things can turn on a week-to-week basis. But right now, Jordan Mason needs to be on your bench. That's just a little food for thought. Roma Dunze, he has an MCL strain. He is week-to-week as well. Jake Ferguson has an MCL strain week-to-week as well. A lot of injuries in week one. Also, Panthers Pro Bowler Derek Brown out for the year. He has a meniscus injury, most likely a tear. Tight end David Njoku, he has an ankle sprain. Bucks defensive back Bryce Hall dislocated his right ankle and fractured his fibula. He could be done for the year. I think he's done for the year. Don't quote me on it. We've seen guys come back from injury. I think we'll see how it progresses throughout the year. These injuries could maybe be 6 to 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. That with good rehab, we'll see what happens for him. Prayers out for Bryce Hall in that regard. Quarterback Josh Allen injured his hand this past Sunday as well. He says there's nothing to worry about, and in fact, he was back in practice on Monday. In other news, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was arrested prior to the game this Sunday. That's right, arrested right outside of Hard Rock Stadium for, I guess they were saying, reckless driving. Body cam footage is out. Post-game, Tyreek said that, he treated them with respect, and, basically they, took him out the car and had him face down on the ground, and which exactly it did go down that way, essentially. I think ultimately, the man, officer who walked over, from what I seen for the footage, he was banging on his window. I mean, you got a luxury sports car in Miami. That's something you shouldn't be doing as an officer anyway. I mean, let the man roll down his window, have the conversation, go from there. For what it's worth, yes, Tyreek did not help his case when he rolled up the window, but very smart. Being very smart like Tyreek, he was on the line with his agent Drew Rosenhaus during the ordeal, as you could hear Tyreek basically yelling out, "Drew, they arrested me, Drew. They arrested me." So I hear that an internal investigation is being taken place with the Miami Police Department. Don't know if there has been any action taken against the officers involved. Yes, he was taken out of the car and basically immediately placed under arrest. A little aggressive. Yeah, people just got to be, there's just got to be even tempers on both sides when it comes to things like this. As we all know, too many issues with law enforcement and around the country over the past few years. Everybody just needs to stop, take a deep breath, collect themselves when police are approaching, and have situations remedied quick, fast, and easy, and go on from there. Also, maybe it was a little over excessive, as there were more than 2 officers on the scene as well. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure people's gonna have their opinion about it, so that's just mine. We'll go from there. Also, it seems as though there's a little controversy. Kendrick Lamar has been tapped to perform at next year's Super Bowl, this season's Super Bowl, which is being held in New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay. Now, it's become a hot topic of debate, as Miss Nicki Minaj has already came out, along with other dignitaries as well, putting their support behind Lil Wayne and questioning why Lil Wayne was not, the featured artist for the Super Bowl, as it is in New Orleans, as it could be a very good way of a Hot Boys reunion, having Master P out there, representing all of New Orleans for hip hop. It's not taking place. I think there's a lot of questions being raised as to who's pulling the strings and who's making these decisions as to who's being able to perform at the show of shows in the winter, it being the Super Bowl. My take on it is knowing that it is in New Orleans. It is essentially in Lil Wayne's backyard. I really do think that Lil Wayne should be in there in some capacity. The Hot Boys should be there in some capacity. Master P, No Limit Soldiers. Those guys who've done things past and present. And not only just hip hop artists. I think all genres that create New Orleans, that create that Creole, that gumbo, that mix of what makes New Orleans New Orleans. I think that they should all have a very important role to play in the Super Bowl. Just my opinion. I'm fine with seeing Kendrick Lamar, but the circumstances, may not, be so welcoming, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't pull the strings, but I just think a lot more could be done. Could have been done in that regard. And who's to say that, some plans are not being put in place for the Super Bowl? But, we shall see. We'll honestly see how that goes from there. Also, in some other news, Tyrese Gibson was arrested in court over unpaid child support, ordered to pay $73,000 to avoid jail time. Shouldn't even come to that, bruh. It really shouldn't even come to that. I think that, as parents, when it comes to co-parenting, you guys got to get to the table, whether that's with a mediator or a friend, a family member, a lawyer, then you got to get to the table, man, and sort things out and get things right. And, things being for the betterment, for the betterment of the child, for the sake of the child, and not for one's pockets as well. So, in that regard, we got to do better. Everybody has to do better when it comes to co-parenting in situations like that, and not making it so much as a spectacle of who's right, who's wrong, how much you think this person deserves, X, Y, and Z. If all things come down to money, then you really need to take the time and really think about the person you're conceiving a child with. And with that said, with laws in different states and how they apply, you should pay attention to detail. And that just doesn't go for men as well. That goes for women as well. A la Britney Spears, she paid Kevin Federline handsomely over the last 18 plus years. I'm just saying. Takes two to tango. Seeing it from both sides. That's all. Get your Carfax reports on your significant other. Take your time a little bit more before you start deciding to have people at 2:45. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Little somber notes here. Rest in peace to Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau, pro hockey players from Boston College, who played at Boston College from the New England area. Both players were struck and killed by a drunk driver last week in Jersey, while they were riding bicycles. It's just a lot. It's been a lot. If you're not from the area, you can tell it's been a lot of heartache on the region. Everywhere you go around the city of Boston, there are memorials to Matthew and Johnny. Condolences to their friends and family and loved ones for their loss, and as the NHL will honor both brothers throughout the NHL season. Also, rest in peace to a magnificent talent, gone way too soon. Talented hip-hop artist Rich Homie Quan Sad to report, Rich Homie Quan passed away over the weekend from an apparent drug overdose, or so it seems. Brilliant artist, gone way too soon. It's a sad reality that we face in terms of opioids and other avenues of medication and drugs that you see young guys get hooked on, and don't think that they have a problem, and essentially it is a problem, and I think that these guys who promote some of this stuff in their lyrics need to take a step back and really take a look at the long-term effects that some of these opioids do to their body over time. And if you look at most of these artists, I mean, some of them are only about 150 pounds soaking wet, if that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not to say eating disorders or nothing like that. I'm not implying that. I'm just saying, like, you guys need to take it easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Health is wealth. I understand partying and having a good time, but you guys need to take a step back and not be, just take a step back and think about your friends and family before you get involved with some things. But yeah, man, just gone way too soon. Real sad. Rich Homie Quan. Also, rest in peace to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. James Earl Jones. Mr. James Earl Jones, we all know, voice of Darth Vader, voice of Mufasa from Lion King. We all known him as, Mr. Jenkins and Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. Remind him as also, The Sandlot, The Great White Hope, Coming to America 1 and 2. Magnificent talent, beautiful voice. I don't think there's not a other finer human being that you would want to narrate your story besides James Earl Jones. 93 years old, gone way too soon. A man ahead of his time, a trailblazer ahead of his time. When he spoke, you listened, and even when you hear him speak in interviews, it's just captivating. All that knowledge and all that he's been through the test of time. Mr. James Earl Jones, thank you. I salute to you. As you move forward into the next phase of life. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. All right. So we're going to get into it. Suplex of the weekend. My suplex of the weekend is a good suplex. New England Patriots, baby. They went into Cincinnati. They popped Joe Burrow in the ass, and they came out victorious. Nobody thought it was going to happen. I certainly didn't think it was going to happen. But you know what? We got Gerard Mayo. Mayo knows how to control the game. I'm getting overzealous. It's only the first week of the season. But it's a damn good win. Damn good win. Damn good start. And also good suplex goes out to my man Caleb Williams. First NFL quarterback drafted number 1 since 2002 to come out and get a dub. And I think he's going to get many more dubs to come. So those two guys, New England Patriots, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, good suplexes this week. All right, this is the Weekend Roundup with your boy Mish. Please share, like, and subscribe here with the Suplex Sports Podcast, as well as hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, as well as Facebook and on Spotify. You can take a look and listen to previous episodes of the Suplex Sports Podcast currently on Spotify. Don't be afraid. Hit us up in the comments section. We don't mind reaching out to you guys directly or addressing some things that you may feel as though they need to be addressed. Other than that, this has been the Suplex Sports Podcast and a Weekend Roundup. This is your boy Mish, and I'm going to see you guys next week.